Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy. The only reason this thing exists is so that people can go on the internet and crone about how horrible this thing is. This ill-conceived conversion of the controversial yet popular Midway arcade fighting game presents you with 6 of the 7 mortal combatants from the game, omitting wannabe Hollywood star Johnny Cage from the pack. The game is set up similarly to the arcade original. You pick a fighter, you battle the rest, you face off against your clone, challenge the 2-on-1 endurance rounds, and finally face off against the bosses Goro and Shang Tsung. That is, if you're ever able to get very far. Look, I'll be brutally honest with you. This thing put me to sleep. I think I probably made it as far as the first couple endurance rounds before I just gave up on the game, and subsequently never made it to the final battles with Goro and Shang Tsung. There is a code that allows you to play as Goro in this version, which is a nice little incentive there, but it can only be entered upon completion of the game, and that's more than what I'm willing to put into this thing. Is it a bit unfair? Perhaps. I usually like to play a good majority of the game before I start any semblance of a review, but in rare instances such as this one, it becomes a case of a game being so unbearable and so intolerable that just struggling through a few rounds of a game tells you everything you need to know about the overall quality. And this is certainly the case with Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy. There are a lot of issues with the game. A lot of it, well, you could see for yourself on screen. The game runs sluggishly. And Mortal Kombat wasn't exactly fast-paced, but it played a hell of a lot quicker than this. The animation is choppy as all hell, as if it were missing some frames of animation. It looks horrible, just bad. The audio in every aspect of the concept sounds like crap, whether it be in terms of the few musical pieces in the game or the few sound effects that play throughout. It is an audible nightmare. Here, have a quick listen to these couple clips and kiss your ears goodbye. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now? Good. Unfortunately, I guess. You know what? I'll give the game some sliver of credit. The character portraits don't look half bad on the Game Boy. And that's all I got. The rest of it just looks like crap. Okay, gameplay. Controls are shit. Not gonna beat up around the bush there. It's horrible, but the basic mapping goes like this. 1 button punches, 1 button kicks, and you have to press both the A and B buttons to block. That's stupid. Why not use select for blocking, or the start button for blocking, since there's no pause button in this game? No, it's hold A and B to block. No, and on top of that, trying to pull off moves is cumbersome because there's a massive delay between input and execution. Scorpion's spear move is one of the easiest moves to pull off in the early Mortal Kombats, and yet even that move is difficult to execute because of the constant delay between input and execution. On top of that, again, some of the move commands have changed for the Game Boy version. Some examples include Liu Kang's fireball is now back punch rather than forward punch. Sub-Zero's freeze move is now back forward punch rather than down forward punch. These are a couple of examples. There's a few others. And of course, some moves are the same commands, albeit simplified for the Game Boy. But with the struggle to execute a special move, or even a nerfed fatality — the fatalities are not the same as the arcade game obviously — has less to do with learning the new commands and has more to do with timing your inputs. You have to press each sequence at a rather specific rate or else the move won't launch. It's basically Street Fighter 1 all over again with the delayed inputs and shoddy play mechanics. This is not a pleasant experience to be had. Ultimately, nothing I can say here can truly emphasize how terrible this conversion of Mortal Kombat is. It is a miserable excuse for electronic entertainment, and the only reason to play and own a copy of this game is just so you can play you've played it and own a copy of it. And that's all I'm going to say about this game. Good night.